That was last season. Roberts was able to learn from past, forget the horror and plan for the future. Gone should have been the days of pulling pitcher too quickly, playing with the lineups after just one pitching change and exhausting a bullpen far too early in the series. This was not a hope, this was a necessity, and through 2 games in 2018's World Series, Dave Roberts is making the same mistakes he made just a year ago. The first big mistake of the series came in Game 1 when Roberts went with his all-righty lineup. On paper it makes sense, start the righties against a lefty and pray that the splits fall in your favor. The issue, however, was Yasiel Puig was in the lineup and Brian Dozier was set to hit at the top of the order. Puig is a reverse splits guy. In 2018, the right fielder hit .297 against right-handed pitching and just .209 against lefties. Puig hit 23 home runs in the regular season, 19 of which came off a right-handed pitcher. Who could have replaced him, you ask? Cody Bellinger, the NLCS MVP, was patiently watching Game 1 on the bench. This mistake was not too bad. Sure, there was a better lineup somewhere in this roster, but that specific lineup was not bad. The real issues came in the same spots that did last year, crucial pitching changes. If a manager needs to master one thing, it is managing his pitching. Don Mattingly could not do it, so he was let go by the Dodgers. Gabe Kapler, current manager of the Phillies and former Dodger front office member, changes the pitchers too quickly and he drew heavy criticism for it this year. Dave Roberts, a World Series caliber manager, does not struggle so much with when to make a change, rather, who he should bring into a game. Roberts ran with Ryan Madson in Game 1 to replace Kershaw. The decision was justified as Madson has quickly become the Dodgers' momentum killer and his job has been to clean up a mess on the bases. After coming into the game, we learned Ryan Madson had no control that night. His pitches were all over the place, opening the appearance with a spiked changeup that bounced about 3 feet in front of the plate, advancing the base runner. Both of Madson's inherited runners scored, and again, while there was nothing wrong with going to Madson, bear that information in mind as you continue to read. The disaster begins here. Pedro Baez was inserted into the game after Julio Urias allowed a tough-luck double to Andrew Benintendi. The Dodgers were down just 1 run and Baez has been the best reliever on the Dodgers for a while now. In his last 18 regular season appearances, Baez had a .47 ERA. In the postseason, he has allowed just 1 earned run in 7 1/3 innings. Baez faced Mitch Moreland first and struck him out. Roberts elected to walk the Sox best hitter in JD Martinez, and now there were 2 on 1 out. Baez was looking incredible. He struck out Xander Bogaerts and was just 1 batter away from getting out of the mess, and then Dave Roberts walked out from the dugout, raised his left arm and signaled Alex Wood to come in from the bullpen. More from Dodgers. Wood has looked really weak since joining the bullpen. He has been a liability, not effective. Wood came in, Cora countered with Eduardo Nunez at the plate, and the rest was history. Nunez blasted a 3-run home run to left and put the nail in the coffin for Game 1. The mistake cost the Dodgers a win, and it was not the last mistake Roberts would go on to make. In Game 2, Roberts again ran with the righty lineup, but to be fair, we won't pick on it. Ryu was the start. He was pitching well until he ran into trouble in the 5th inning, loading the bases with 2 outs. Roberts went to the pen, as he should have, but he called for Ryan Madson. Normally this is not a bad move. Madson has been great, but he was just 1 day removed from blowing a lead and allowing 2 inherited runners to score. Madson said to the press after Game 1 that his control was not there anymore, and still, Roberts brought him into the game. As if it were to prove a point, Madson allowed 3 of 3 inherited runners to score, and the score was now 4-2. That score did not change for the rest of the night. Baez was the right move there. Put your best guy in for the toughest spots and let him do the work. Do not risk putting in a guy who has publicly said he is struggling. Next, Dodgers, much-needed lineup changes coming at home. Dave Roberts wants a World Series ring as much as anyone affiliated with the Dodgers does. But, until he cleans up the rookie mistakes and manages the game like he wants to be in the World Series, the Dodgers' deficit to a team that is already superior is magnified. And again, history is repeating itself.